Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep into something that's probably on everyone's minds these days. Cloud spending.
Definitely important.
We want to make sure that putting money into the cloud actually means something for our businesses, right? Not just about saving money, but actually seeing results.
You got it. And that's where the FinOps Foundation framework comes in. They have a domain called Quantify Business Value.
Oh, I like the sound of that already.
It's about shifting that focus. Instead of just cutting costs, which is important, but we also need to know what we're getting back for what we put in.
So it's kind of like, yeah, we've got this cloud bill every month, but instead of freaking out, we need to figure out what those dollars are doing for us.
Exactly. Are we getting more customers? Are things moving faster? Are people happier with our products? These are the important questions.
That makes a lot of sense. But how do we actually connect those dots? How do we see what we're spending on the cloud and then how that turns into something real for the business?
And that's where the FinOps capabilities come in. Things like planning, making good forecasts, and budgeting, but all of this with the cloud in mind.
So we're taking the financial stuff we're hopefully already doing and giving it that cloud upgrade.
Right. Let's say you're planning a new project that uses the cloud. You don't just throw money at it. You need to figure out what you'll get back. Will we sell more? Will we build stuff faster? That's the kind of thinking we need.
So it's like going into a meeting and instead of saying, this is going to cost us this much, you say this cloud investment is going to boost revenue.
Exactly. And that's how you get buy-in from everyone, finance, marketing, the whole team.
And speaking of seeing how we measure up, the framework also talks about benchmarking. That feels pretty important.
Absolutely. Benchmarking tells you where you stand compared to everyone else in your industry.
Oh, so like, are we getting a good return compared to our competitors?
Exactly. Are we doing things efficiently? Or could we learn from what others are doing?
It's like looking in a mirror, but for your cloud strategy.
I like it. Right. And it can be really eye-opening. Like maybe a software company sees their cloud costs are higher than others, but they also realize they're putting out new features way faster.
And that speed could mean more market share, more revenue.
You got it. Connecting those dots between the money we spend and the actual value we get. Speaking of which, I remember this one company that used the cloud to launch a product incredibly fast.
Oh, tell me more.
I think our listeners will find this really interesting. They went from idea to launch so fast thanks to the cloud. And yeah, their costs were a little more than they thought they'd be, but because they got to market so quickly, they grabbed a huge chunk of it right away.
Wow, so the short-term cost was worth it in the long run.
Oh, totally. That early lead turned into a massive return on their investment. Proof that sometimes taking risks with your cloud can really pay off.
Yeah, for sure. Makes you think about those risks differently.
Exactly. And you know what else? It's not enough to just look at the numbers.
Oh, tell me more.
The FinOps framework emphasizes that data needs to be accessible and timely.
So we can't just have it. We've got to be able to use it.
Exactly. It's got to be easy to get to and current. Like, what good is knowing about cloud costs months later? We need to know what's happening right now to make good decisions.
Right. Be proactive, not just reacting after the fact. So how does this all tie back to quantifying the business value we keep talking about?
It's all connected. Timely data means we can adjust things to actually reach the business goals we have. So say a new product launch is going great, using more cloud than expected, that's awesome. But are the costs matching the revenue from that product? Having that data in front of you, that's how you make good decisions. Maybe adjust pricing, move resources around, whatever makes the most sense.
So we're not just looking in the rearview mirror, we're looking ahead too, making smarter choices. That's really interesting.
And it gets even more interesting. The Quantify Business Value domain wants us to think beyond just money.
Okay, now you've got me really curious.
Think about sustainability. More and more companies are thinking about the environment.
Absolutely, it's a big deal.
Right, and using the cloud can actually be a good thing for the environment.
Really? How so?
Well, moving to the cloud often means less physical stuff, right? Servers, data centers, all that. And that means less energy used.
So there's an environmental benefit to using the cloud. We just don't always think about it that way.
That's right. And that benefit, it can be factored into how we see the cloud's value. It's not just about profit. It's about the big picture, the impact on our business and the planet.
I'm really seeing how this framework makes us think differently about cloud investments. It's not just about the money, it's the whole picture, business impact, even the planet. Which reminds me, we haven't really talked about unit economics. How does that fit in?
Great point. Unit economics is all about breaking down the cost and value of cloud services to a really granular level.
Okay, so instead of our total cloud costs, we're talking about like the cost of individual customers or products.
Exactly. And this view is super powerful. Imagine knowing which product is way more profitable in the cloud or which types of customers are cheaper to serve using the cloud.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. You could use that to make better decisions about pricing, resources, even what you build next.
Absolutely. It's about making sure your cloud strategy and your business objectives are aligned all the way down to the details.
Leading to, hopefully, a much healthier bottom line.
Exactly.
This has been eye-opening. So what's the main takeaway for our listeners if they only remember one thing?
The key is this. Figuring out the real value of what you're spending on the cloud isn't just for the IT people. It's a must-do for any business, and it means changing how we think. The cloud isn't just a cost center, it's a strategic asset that drives real business value.
It's got to be working just as hard as we are, right? So for those listening who are thinking, okay, this is great, but how do I even start? What's one thing they can do today?
I'd say start by picking one or two key metrics that your cloud usage really affects. Maybe it's how many people buy from your website, or how many customers stick around, or how fast you build new products.
Okay, so things we're probably already tracking.
Right, then figure out how you can track how your cloud investment impacts those things.
Don't try to do everything at once. Start small, focus on what matters, and build from there.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a sprint. Be patient, be persistent, and stay curious.
This deep dive has been a masterclass in turning cloud costs into a real driver for growth. And I think we've given our listeners the tools to start talking about this across their teams. IT, finance, everyone's speaking the same language.
That's what it's all about, breaking down those walls and working together. When everyone gets the connection between cloud spending and the value it brings, that's when the magic happens.
We make better decisions, find new opportunities, and move our businesses forward. For everyone listening, imagine being able to show, with clear data, how your cloud strategy is boosting revenue, making customers happier, even helping the environment. That's the power of understanding the Quantify business value domain. It's not just about managing costs, it's about unleashing the full power of the cloud for your business. Until next time, keep diving deep.